Hi guys, it's Coach Vassar. Thank you for joining me. Welcome to the OTF Audio Daily Beats. If you're new, as always, thank you for tuning in, listening to me talk about these workouts. If you find value in them, information is in the description. To support me a couple different ways, just buy me a coffee or a little donation. Appreciate that. This is gonna be Sunday, December 22nd. It's a switch template. We have endurance on the treads and the rowers, and then strength on the weight floor. Even the 3G is also a switch template, so be aware of that. We'll go over, the key concepts, talk about the treads, rower weight floor, and the 3G. So when we look at the workout for the treads, you're on the treads twice today with surge and return with name of the game. On the first time, get as far as you can. The second time, can you match or beat the distance? For the rower, you start each floor block with a 400-meter push row. Your goal is to match or beat your time in block 2. And then on the floor, you're on the floor twice. First time, upper body and core. Second time, lower body and core. So when we look at the treadmills, if they start there, they're gonna do tread, floor, and then they're done. If they start on the floor, rower, they'll go to the tread, back to the floor, finish on the tread. You have a 2-minute transition between rooms, so just keep that in mind. You gotta get them to hustle and bustle as you rotate. So block 1, 11 minutes on the treadmill. It's essentially a 11-minute tread for distance. They choose their own intensity. However, at random intervals, you want them to surge and increase their speed for a minute before they dial it back to what they were originally doing. This is a great opportunity to kind of train people for the 12-minute run for distance benchmark that we will see coming up, I believe in February. So essentially it's gonna be 10.5 minutes, and then the final 30 seconds, we want them to go to an all-out effort. Now the 3 surges, they're gonna happen at the 3-minute mark, the 6-minute mark, and the 9-minute. So they have the first 3 minutes to kind of establish what they can maintain. They'll have a minute of that surge, then it's gonna be 2 minutes of maintaining, another surge, another 2 minutes of maintaining, and then they have a surge, and then they have a 30-second maintain before they hit that all out. Once again, with a tread for distance one, this is one where can't really go into too much detail because there's so many different variables. But one thing is, for the more deconditioned people or newer, this is a great opportunity to reestablish their base. What could they sustain for a majority of time? So right around their base or just below it, maybe just above it. For those of people who have been doing this for a while, maybe they use like a conservative push or even a push. When it comes to the surge, power walkers, joggers, runners increase some capacity. They don't give a range, as we saw like a couple weeks ago within the template, but in the daily beat, they do mention like, hey, can you increase it anywhere from 0.1 to 0.5 miles per hour? And then be able to come back. Now, if people want to go more than that, sure. Just hopefully they don't sacrifice their return speed and end up going slower. Now, for the bikes and striders, they're going to essentially, maintain established gear. They could increase RPMs during the surge. They could try to increase their gear during the surge. Increasing gear will only affect distance on the new bikes and the new striders, so just be aware of that. For the people who use the M3 and the M5, if they increase gear, yeah, it's going to make it harder, but it won't make them go any further. That is solely dictated by the RPMs on the pedals, so just something to be aware of. So people on the old bikes, maybe you tell them to actually increase their RPMs. People on the older bike or the new bikes, maintain RPMs, add a gear, because that's going to increase their watts and they will travel further on their distance. Now, the second tread block, it's actually longer. So if they repeat what they do, they will beat their distance if they could hold the same speeds and the same surges. Because they'll do 10.5 minutes of a tread for distance and then a 1 minute all out. So they get an extra 30 seconds of that very uncomfortable. Speed surges are the same time domain. So 3 minutes, 6 minutes, and 9 minutes for a minute each. Can they match or beat their distance? Can they match or beat their surges? Couple ways to kind of cue them in on that. So that's gonna be the 2 tread blocks. Now, when we look at the weight floor, block 1, they'll start with that 400-meter push row. They about 6, maybe 7 out of their legs. Stroke rate, I would keep it about 26 to 28. Probably take them about 90 seconds or less. When they finish, they have 2 exercises as a back-to-back superset, and then rest, and then a new active recovery movement. So we're gonna see incline, alternating, single arm chest press to chest to chest press. So for that one, they're gonna start both arms up, most likely. I gotta look on the VVA on the video real quick, but they're gonna drop one arm down, the other side, and then both. Then they have a split stance low row, 3 to 5 reps each. That is very heavy, so try to get them to really do that. After that, rest, and then it's a body weight thumbs up. Now the body weight thumbs up, think about like a Superman, but instead of straight out, arms are at a 45, and yeah, the thumbs are up, and they're lifting up. I would also try to emphasize retraction through the scapula rather than just the arch through the thoracic spine. That will help people get a little bit more like activation between the shoulder blades. So just be aware of that. I just pulled up the video, so let me see. Yeah, so the left arm, right arm, both arms. That's gonna be 1 rep for that incline bench. So just, there you go. And then yeah, the thumbs up, like I said, they're laying on their stomach like a Superman, and they're trying to lift up, bring the chest up, back down. They have 12 reps of that. If people have any lower back issues, they could do that from like a bird dog position, so, or from like a tabletop position. They could do from here, they could just do 1 arm and do like 6 on one side, 6 on the other. Or even from a hinge and do like, like a hinge and then Y raise. So the second weight floor block, we're gonna see 400 meter push row. Then that's gonna be paired up with tap squats, single arm split stance deadlift, rest, and then high plank alternated knee drive for some core activation. And then their finisher is either the single arm chest press to press or tap squats for 1 minute. There we go. So main thing when you're looking at the weight floor, just be aware, that first movement is unique. So they do both arms, then press. That makes 1 rep. So really they're doing like 2 reps per movement. So that's one where if they're doing 6, it's really 12 presses. So they might err more towards like light to moderate for the weight choices rather than actually heavy, because that is a lot of volume. Now, when we look at the 3G, 6.5 minute block for all groups, and then block 1 for the treadmills and block 2 are the same thing, similar to the 2G, but it's not longer. They're both 6.5 minutes. The speed surge is going to happen at the 2-minute mark for a minute and also at the 4-minute mark for a minute. They'll do 6 minutes of a tread for distance and a 30-second all out. Now for the rower, block 1 and block 2 will be a 300 meter push row with a core exercise for active recovery, as well as much core activation as possible, as well as balance work. So in block 1, we're gonna have an overhead alternated march in place. So med ball is locked out overhead. Every step is 1, they'll do 12. We really wanna make sure people are stable. They're not doing the wacky inflatable arm man at the car sales. And then in the second block, it's a single leg tricep extension. So now they're actually balanced on 1 foot, elbows glued to their side, and doing it right there, or biceps glued to the ears. But essentially, match or beat their time on those 300 meter rows, take their time on the med ball work so they can actually recover. And then on the weight floor, block 1 is the chest press combo with the low row, block 2, tap squat, and split stance deadlift. Their finisher will be same thing. So this one though is just incline closed grip chest press or the tap squat. And most likely they eliminated the combination one because it's only for 30 seconds instead of a minute. So just, if you have people who are gonna do the chest press, just recognize, hey, it's just a closed grip chest press. So elbows are tucked in from that incline position. And that's your Sunday, December 22nd. There you go. Any feedback, let me know. Coach it down.